In this video, I want to show you how to create the Eccentric cam in Autodesk Inventor. When you look at the cams, you will notice that most of these cams and most of the dimensions are dependent upon the diameter of the cam, or this D dimension you see right here. Using parametric modeling techniques within Autodesk Inventor, we are going to create these cams. Once you open Autodesk Inventor, you will want to create a new file. We're going to create a standard IPT file and choose Create. The first thing you'll want to do is set your parameters. You can find the parameters option by going to two places. First of all, you can go to the Manage tab and choose Parameters, but you can also just stay in the Sketch tab, and at the very top right here you have a Parameters option right here, and it's the same option, same tool, so we'll just choose that. And what we need to do is set two parameters. You remember in the Eccentric cam we have the D parameter, we're going to call this diameter, and we also have this hole or this slot that goes through the cam. So we're going to set those two parameters in Autodesk Inventor. First we want to add a numeric parameter, so we're going to click this option right here, Add Numeric, and we're going to call this DIA for diameter. And I just clicked somewhere in this area here, and it automatically sets a default dimension as 1 inch. I can change this number, but I'm going to leave it as 1 inch just to kind of make it easier. And we can change this number later if we need to. In fact, this is how you will change it if you want to make this cam smaller or bigger later on. Next, we want to choose Add Numeric again, and this time we're going to type the word hole, and then I'm going to click off to the side somewhere. In this case, this dimension does not need to be 1 inch. It needs to be 0.26. And again, that is based off of this drawing that you have right here. And so we have the two parameters that we need to create this cam set. Now we're going to choose Done. First, we're going to start by drawing a line, and we're going to use the origin as our starting point. And I would recommend that you make all of the cams, the center of your cams, the origin that you see here to just kind of make things easier, and it's a nice starting point. So I'm going to start the line here, and I'm going to pull this line down right here. And as I'm pulling this line down, it's looking for a dimension. If you remember in this little drawing here, it says that the distance from the center of this cam down to the center of this hole or this slot is going to be 1/4 of the diameter. So what we want to do is making sure that the line is being pulled down. I'm going to type in DIA, and then I'm going to hit the slash mark or divided by 4, and I'm just going to press enter. And when I do that, you're going to notice that there is a function option. I'm going to hit escape real quick to get out of the tool, but this is a function option, and it makes the dimension look like it's pulling from something. That just means that it's pulling from the parameters that we've already established for this file. Next thing I want to do is go to Circle, and I'm going to start this little circle that we're going to use, and I'm going to pull this out, and you'll notice that there's a dashed line that is going through the center of this circle here, and it kind of expands and moves along with the direction of my cursor here. That just means that it's looking for the diameter. If I wanted to change this and set this as radius, I could simply just right click and choose radius, but that is not what I want to do. So what I want to do is make sure it's set to diameter, which it is, and now all I need to do is type in the word hole. And when I do that and press enter, it's going to create a little hole or a little circle that is the diameter of what we set the parameter for hole. Next, we're going to make the overall cam, and we're just going to go to circle, and we're going to create the center of this cam right here at the very top of this line. And now it's looking again for the diameter of this cam, and you remember that was going to be D. So all we need to do is come here just at some place and just type in DIA, which is our parameter, and that will create a 1 inch circle here. So actually we're kind of almost to the point where we're ready to extrude, but there's two things we need to do, actually several little things we need to do. First of all, we're not going to actually create a hole. We're going to create a square hole or slot that goes through this cam. And we also don't really need this line right here. So it's a really neat function that we can change these lines from lines that could potentially be part of the extrusion that we create. And we're going to change these to construction lines. So I'm going to choose this line, and then I'm going to choose this construction option right here to make this into a construction line. Then I'm going to do the same thing for this little hole right here, the circle, and I'm going to change it to a construction line. So to get the slot or the square hole, what I want to do is go to rectangle, and then I'm going to choose polygon, and then I'm going to change my number of sides to 4, and I'm going to start it in the center right here, and then I'm just going to make sure it kind of snaps, and you'll notice this as you draw it, it'll kind of just snap to it. It just means that it's making sure that it's tangent to the circle here. And so anytime we change the diameter of this parameter for the hole, it will change this slot as well. So I'm going to finish this little polygon here so that I'm done with that. And so now I'm ready to extrude, and I can do that 2 ways. I can hit just go straight to 3D model and choose extrude, or I can finish my sketch and then go to extrude, whichever is easier for you. It is now looking for whatever it is that I want to extrude. I have to choose. I have to tell the program what I want to extrude. In this case, I want to extrude this shaded area here. And in Autodesk Inventor, the default dimension for an extrusion is usually 1 inch. And when I change this and I go and make another extrusion, it will remember this 1 inch, or it will remember the number that I use. So if I change this, it's going to remember that number. But I want to change this number to 0.25, just 1/4 of an inch thick, and I'm simply just going to choose or click OK. This is the finished cam. So we have the cam, we have the square slot going through this. So let's just say you want to come back and you want to change this. You want to make this cam bigger. So what we simply need to do is go back to function, and we would come right here to this parameter, this 1 inch. Let's just say we want to make this twice as big as what it is. So I can just simply type in 2 for 2 inches, and you'll notice that it automatically makes this cam bigger. And I can click done, and it keeps the hole the size that it needs to be, but it makes the actual overall size of the cam much bigger. So that's a very easy way to design a product or a part, and you know the product pretty much is going to stay the same size or shape, but you want to be able to create the ability to be able to enlarge certain things or keep certain things the same, and you can do that by using parameters. I'm just simply going to go back to 1 inch just to show you one more time how to make this change and click done. But that's how you create the eccentric cam in Autodesk Inventor. You'll simply just need to save your work and make sure you save all your work in your OneDrive.